Interior crocodile alligator. I drive a Chevrolet movie theater. That's exactly what we're doing today. We are putting the interior as far as we can together in the RS, because right now it's a hot mess in here. It's been a hot mess in here. It's unorganized. Nothing is really put where it needs to be, and it's just kind of a shit show. So the goal for today is to get the interior kind of sorted and situated. That's going to include trying to mount up the Haltech R3 in a position where it will be in kind of a safe location. I kind of want to put it where the factory ECU was underneath the carpet. I did get seats for the 2.5 RS. I actually went and I stole the seats out of the 17 STI. So I've got a set of race quip seats that we're gonna be putting in there. They're not bad seats for somebody my size. If you're any bigger than me, I'm 5'8", 170 pounds. If you're any bigger than me, those seats are not gonna be friendly to you. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I know some people are gonna be like, you should really put seats in there that are period correct to the car and all this stuff. I don't wanna spend $2,000 minimum on seats right now. I just don't wanna do it. I've got seats. There's nothing wrong with those seats. They work fine. The driver's seat already has a slider on it. I've already got the seat rails from Planted for this car, so I don't want to spend that much. So it should just be swapping this base off for our other base, which should be easy enough. Well, that's just too gosh darn big. So is that. Old bracket, new bracket. Oh, that's a Corbeau seat base. Interesting. Oh, I had to drill holes in this. What the fuck? What did I do here? Why did I do it that way? Why did I make these seats work? I blatantly drilled some really random holes in some really random spots. Don't know why. So I've actually remarked where the holes need to go for this to be able to actually get this in. I think I'm gonna pull these off one bracket at a time, go drill them on the bench over there, and then put it on. So I don't know, dude. I don't know what I was thinking. It's interesting coming back to some of the things that I used to do and seeing how, like, they worked, don't get me wrong, but they're kind of sketch. One seat down. I had to just toss them in to see what they look like. They look great. Honestly, I don't think they look bad by any means. I mean, they're just black race quip seats, so I wouldn't expect them to look bad. They're honestly not bad for the price. They're pretty cheap seats, FIA approved. This one, like I said earlier, I do have sliders on the driver's seat. I'm a little bit of a short guy, so having the adjustability to get in and out is nice. Plus having the quick release makes it a lot easier to get out of this car with the seats in there. So I still have to get my seat belts remanufactured for this car because I don't want to put a harness bar and all that crap in here. So this seat's got to come back out. I've got a little bit of wiring to clean up under here on the driver's side. Once that's all cleaned up, we'll actually get the driver's seat bolted in, clean up some of these cables. We can actually put this bottom panel piece back on, get our dead pedal in and all that fun stuff. Then we'll jump over to the passenger side. That side, I need to find a spot for the ECU. We need to find a home for that thing permanently. So let me tackle the driver's side first, then we'll jump to this side. I hate to interrupt, but we gotta take a second for today's video sponsor. If you guys don't know what Upside is actually a really nice app that lets you earn money back on purchases that you're gonna be making anyways, such as fuel. Like in our case, using my location, I can see that the Shell right by me is offering 79 cents a gallon cash back on premium fuel. How that works is I'll go to the fuel station, I will click redeem the offer on the app, I will pay as I would normally with my debit card, fill up either the cars, a fuel container, or what, follow the instructions on Upside, and then you can get cash back. And this isn't just like a gift card or something that you can only spend at X, Y, or Z places. This is legit money that you can transfer back into your bank account, which is actually really nice. It helps offset some of the inflationary stuff going on today. Upside doesn't only work on fuel. It also works on a lot of the local restaurants you might have around you. So if you're like me and you're in the shop all the time and you might be going out and grabbing some lunch, you can actually earn some of that money back by just doing what you normally do. Plus the Upside app can work for pretty much anybody because there's over 100,000 fuel stations and restaurants on this app. So if you're anywhere, pretty much, you should be able to earn some money back on most of your purchases. Upside users are making as much as $280 a year. To find out how much you could earn, click the link in the description to download Upside and use code Smeedia to get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. Or scan the QR code here to claim this offer. Huge shout out to the guys over at Upside. Now let's get back to putting the Subaru together, so hopefully we can actually use that app soon to just go drive to the fuel station and put some gas in that car. Now underneath of the dash there are some wires that I had to figure out kind of where they went to, and a couple relays that just didn't have home. So sifting through, trying to figure out where they were going took me a little longer than I wanted to, but we eventually ended up getting it. I had to go back and actually watch some of the videos of when we tore the car apart, which was actually really handy to have because it made putting some of this stuff back together a little bit easier. There was also the ignition wire from the Haltech going to the factory ignition switch on the car that I needed to fix because it was a little bit loose. Now for the seats in here, this was a little bit more of a pain in the butt than I would have liked it to be because somebody at some point had really dickered up all of the holes for the seats, so I had to kind of go through there, chase all the threads, clean them up a decent bit, but afterwards we were able to get the seats in no problem. This was a little bit of a pain in the butt for the driver's area, but for the most part, this is all put back together. I need to find some little like grommet style things that I can put into these little holes on the bottom of the steering column, because that's how the bottom portion of the cover actually goes on. So I'm gonna have to find something on Amazon. I kind of like the idea of the steering wheel wire going through this peasant hole where they're supposed to be an option, but there's not. I don't know, we'll revisit that later. But seat is bolted in now. It took me a while to find all the bolts for the seat because 3 of them are all the same, and then the one that bolts to the back side of the chassis back there, that's actually an M11 by 1.5, really weird bolt, but that kind of knocks out right here. Cockpit feels great. It's also really nice to be able to sit in the car now, and like I can sit in here. It's wonderful, it's fantastic. I can actually get a feel for what the car is going to feel like. This is going to be a little bit of a time-lapse heavy video, which I apologize for you guys, but I don't know how everything routes in here. So I'm trying to figure it out as I go. So some of this stuff is like trial and error. I'm trying to figure out where it all goes. I wanna get the center console in, e-brake handle in. I am using the 2.5 RS e-brake for now. Actually, I'm gonna be using the 2.5 RS e-brake, but the handle, we can swap that out later because I'd like to put like an STI handle on there or something along those lines. We still have some wires to run for the Haltech stuff just to get them where they need to go. So we're getting through it, but at least we can sit in the driver's seat and pretend to drive our car. Feels nice. Figuring out where the bulk majority of all this interior stuff took longer than I was expecting, especially this HVAC controller and these mechanical cables. This is actually the first car I've had that's had mechanical cables for the HVAC, so it took me a little while to figure out the routing and how exactly they worked. Additionally, there was a little bit of wiring underneath of that I wanted to clean up to try to get everything just where it needed to be, so that way the interior didn't look completely torn apart. Then I wanted to jump over to the passenger side and start getting the ECU bracket kind of sorted out. I didn't really have a game plan for this. I just traced out the ECU onto a piece of metal and just started going to town. Made a couple brackets, started welding them up, and actually got the ECU to mount in a position that I was actually pretty happy with. So I started going on the passenger side in the car, and the biggest thing that we had to figure out is where to put the Haltech. So I kind of just made this little bracket, and Ben, conveniently enough, just dropped off a ton of parts, not a ton, but a handful of parts that I brought him the other day to get powder coated, so he's gonna knock this out for us real quick. But this is actually pretty sweet. The ECU will bolt to this plate, and then this plate goes right in the factory position right there. So this is mild steel. This will 100% rust. So Ben is going to make it all pretty and black for us. So also, if you need powder coat work done, obviously, Ben does all our powder coat stuff at this point. Like this stuff up here. What is this color? Blackjack? Yeah. Like he just did all this for us. Like these were rusty, nasty interior components. You saw them, dude. They were like covered in rust and like grossness. So like the trunk latch also. So while Ben's actually powder coating that ECU bracket, we're gonna knock out and install this, and I should probably pick up the shop a little bit. Thank you, good sir. See you in like an hour. While Ben's powder coating our ECU bracket, we're gonna go ahead and get the speakers permanently installed. We can also do the trunk release latch. We are going to have to add a couple riv nuts in the chassis for this since we're using a GD STI carpet. He also went ahead and refurbished the metal pieces that go inside where the ashtray used to go. So I had him do the outside piece as well as the inside piece in there because they were just rusty, nasty. They look super used. So a couple more pieces can start going back in the interior. Fancy titanium hardware to hold down my speakers. Ben dropped the bracket back off and I am super happy with how this has come out. Look at that, you guys. That is legit like OEM plus. So I first made like a rectangle piece that just kind of bolts to the back of this through these 4 screws on the R3. Then I made a couple tabs with cardboard, kind of mocked it up and got the Haltech to sit where I want. Welded it all up, gave it to Ben. He powder coated it all black so that way it won't rust because it is mild steel. And then all the cables just wrap around like factory. That's actually freaking sweet and awesome. So we got some more cables to run in here. This is for our digital display. I've got the yellow cable back there that I'm just going to keep plugged into the ECU. I would like to try to get this kind of sorted permanently. We've got one vacuum line here that's going to have to route from this up to the engine because that is going to be our map sensor. So, and look at that, dude. That's nice. So that'll be our map sensor. I want to get all this zip tied up, get whatever we got to get plugged into this stuff, and just kind of route all the cables for the Haltech. And once that's done, we can get the passenger seat in, get the center console stuff taken care of, and then we really just have the back seat stuff left to figure out. So let me kind of figure out how I'm going to route and clean up some of these cables down here. And then we need to figure out how to get the wideband cable into the engine bay as well as the vacuum line. On the passenger side, we've got the passenger seat in. I added my fire extinguisher from the 07S or the 17 STI because it's smart to have in here. I'll probably buy sliders for this seat because this kind of sits pretty far forward. As for the ECU, everything is cleaned up and zip tied and tucked away in here as it needs to be. The carpet can nicely go over that. I do have the factory cover, but I do not think the factory cover fits over that nicely, so I may make a new one later. I will have to order some more raw material, but we've got all of our connections up there. We've got our vacuum line ran going into the engine bay. We've got our wideband plugged in. So engine management wise, everything is pretty much hooked up. I'm super happy with how this came out too. That significantly resembles kind of OEM for how the OEM setup is, so I'm super pumped with that. The glove box can pretty much go back in at this point. The center console can go back in, so we should be able to wrap up the entire front of the 2.5 RS. We still have the DC-CD controller to wire in, that is interior related as well, so we're getting through it. I think my next focus or area of focus is going to be this glove box, to get the glove box back in, because that will eliminate another massive part that I have sitting on the back, and it'll kind of tie up the interior a lot more, which will be super kosher. It'll be kosher, dude. Freaking kosher, Mel! Look at this, dude. We got pretty much full interior in here now. There's a couple small things I'm missing that go with the center console and the dash and whatnot. I'm really glad that I opted to keep the RS interior. I actually really like this interior for just kind of the age of the car. Now, there are some small things in here that are just kind of worn, like this piece here, these pieces and whatnot. So as time goes on, I'll look for replacements that are in better shape, or maybe we'll try to refinish these in the future in a different way. I just don't know how quite yet, but we're using the RS e-brake still. I actually don't think that looks bad. It feels fine. So RS e-brake is in here. STI 6-speed stuff here. I need to get a shift boot for an STI short shifter, or for an STI shifter here, but dude, it feels freaking awesome. I have no idea what to do with all this cubby space. Like, what do I put in all that? And I technically have this too, but I've got this for cables for the Haltech and Apple CarPlay. But it's like, what do I do with all these? Like, what do I, sandwich warmer? Sandwich warmer too? Smoothie holder? I don't know. And we got a cup holder here. I took out the cup holder that's in here because, to be honest, I'll probably never use it. I'll probably only use this one for, I don't know, we'll see how much I actually trust that cup holder. But dude, this is sweet. HVAC all works too. There's one HVAC cable down below my feet down there that I need to hook up still. But outside of that, everything is all in its home, man. This is sweet. I actually really like this. I dig this. And I absolutely love how that Haltech came out. Now, down here by my feet, we have to get in the trunk release cable latch and whatnot. So I probably should have done that before I put the seat in. So I might end up taking the driver's seat back out just so that way I can pull this carpet back enough to be able to mark the holes for it. Because we do need to drill 2 holes to be able to push the latch forward. Because beforehand, it sat back here a little bit farther. But the cable is long enough to be able to reach. So we shouldn't have an issue with that. I'll take the cover back off of it, but you guys can see the 2 holes that I'm going to have to kind of figure out where they're got to line up in the chassis. We'll drill 2 holes, we'll put some riv nuts there, and then this thing can actually bolt up and we will have our trunk release. I need to find the actual little handle for it, but we can find that later. That worked out better than I thought. All mounted up and trunk latch works. So for this, with this STI carpet in here, I'm just gonna buy some GD STI floor mats for in here because I think they're gonna fit better with this carpet in here. I think everything's just gonna kind of line up in the spots that it needs to. Still have the back seats temporarily sat in here. We do still need to run the fuel lines from those fittings over to the fuel pump. I was gonna do STI rear seats in here, but I actually think the RS seats fit the theme a little bit better, and they obviously fit the chassis better because everything just lines up where it needs to go down there. So I'm super happy with how this has come out. With not having any additional random gauges kind of scattered throughout the car and whatnot, I think this looks phenomenal and very usable too. So that knocks out another big thing off the checklist, which was getting the interior sorted, the Haltech mounted, all the electronics inside of the car done with. We're actually almost ready to start this thing for the first time. The last couple things I need to do to get the engine running are the dry sump lines, pull all of the hot side components off the car, the exhaust manifold, the up pipe, the hot side of the turbo, the down pipe, and go get all that Cerakoted. So we might do that in the next video just to kind of knock that out and do the dry sump lines. And we can put oil in there, we can prime it, we can verify that we have pressure, do our sensor calibrations for all the sensors in the, oh no, I'm still missing vacuum lines and fittings and whatnot. We're close. We're close to a first start. There's a whole bunch of little stuff in the engine bay that we still got to do, like final assembly on the engine. We're almost back to doing body work. I have opted, I am going to repaint the entire car. I think I can do better, so we have so much body work ahead. I am not looking forward to it. So with that, that is all I've got for you guys on this one. Once again, I apologize for all the time-lapse heavy stuff on this one. It's just I didn't quite know what I was doing with all of this because I didn't know where everything routed, where it all went. To be honest, you just kind of got to figure it out. It's a little bit self-explanatory, but you'll figure it out. So with that, that's all I got for you guys on this one. If you like the video, if you're stoked with the progress on the RS and the interior back in that thing, go ahead, hit the like button, turn it black, blue, green, yellow, purple, silver, cyan, whatever color it turns for you. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel and you want to be able to put in one of these corners, no idea which one quite yet, but with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. So peace out, homies.